Today, we wrap up our investigative study on heroin in Las Vegas Valley. Then we'll take a look at the things that are making headlines across the world.
We also have a very special segment today to show you some fun ways to stay refreshed this summer. We have all this and more. You're watching Studio G.
Welcome back to Studio G, and thank you for tuning in to our last episode of the season. I'm James Schaefer.
And I'm Alyssa Truestill. Today, we have a special show for you brought to you by the seniors of Studio G, so let's get started. We've looked at the struggles of being addicted to dangerous drugs like heroin. We've also seen what it does to a person's body and the community surrounding him or her. Studio G reporter Samantha Rose Keamalu brings us the final part of our series. Today, we tackle the road to recovery.
Heroin is considered to be the most dangerous drug of the century. It has no boundaries or specific target group. Heroin is a drug that is so highly addictive and downright terrible to get away from once addicted, although it is not impossible. Chelsea Money from the Foundation for Recovery shows us what can be done if someone you know is battling addiction.
So the peer services at Foundation for Recovery are a program for people who are in long-term recovery to be able to go through a 48-hour training to help those who are new to recovery. My job for the peer services is to really coordinate all of the different programs we work with. We do parenting classes, life skill classes. These life skill classes range from basic cooking to cleaning to meditation to balancing a checkbook. So some of these basic life skills that some of us lose in addiction. We also do mutual support groups as well. So there's a broad range of things that we can help you with at Foundation for Recovery when you're ready to stop using drugs or alcohol and start living a new way of life. There are different inpatient treatment centers depending on insurance. You know, if people have insurance, if they don't. There's also outpatient treatment. If people aren't choosing to go to a treatment center, there's different anonymous programs that they can go to for free.
Chelsea, along with a number of others at Foundation for Recovery, are former addicts in long-term recovery themselves.
I myself am a person in long-term recovery, which means I haven't used any drugs or any other substances since 2013. And what that also means for me is that I was able to get my family back, and I was able to overcome obstacles, and I'm able to use those tools to help other people. I think that, you know, when we are in the midst of those feelings and, you know, maybe having depression or maybe anxiety or any other mental health issue, we feel like there's no way that we're going to be able to get better or that anybody will understand us. And the reality is that, you know, once we find that community of people who are like us, like-minded, who have found some type of recovery, we're able to know that it is possible to change. And, you know, if we're willing to do the work, I'm able to share that with other people in the hope that they can be proud of themselves too by doing good things for themselves, right? And it's a holistic approach. And through all of that, you know, at the age of 26, I bought a house. So I'm just like, it's only up from here, and I'm grateful for my process, very much so.
For more information about recovery or how to get involved, call the number on the screen or visit forrecovery.org.
After our two-part story, we wanted to revisit one last time the story of student government voter fraud. In this final part, we gave the tough questions to two individuals involved in student government that strove to win the presidential election. After the urging of our sources within student government about who was responsible for the voter fraud, we conducted our interviews. Out of all that ran during the student government election, Skylar Brown, the former Senate president, and Fabian Donate, a former health and sciences senator, we wanted to ask the key question of the involvement in voter fraud. What do you say to any accusations that you or anyone in your ticket was concerned with anyone else in your ticket and used entry votes for anyone else?
Definitely not us. We were all at the election complaint. We all made public comments, like, find the person who did this. We were 100% sure it wasn't us.
We asked Fabian the same question.
I feel that that sentence itself is just a way to criminalize people. To say that I had access to student IDs, I mean, everybody in student government had access to them. Signing into an event, most of the time they ask you to fill that in, so that's just another generalization of something a material that everybody could have.
We wanted to pressure through, though, with better understanding the office politics of student government. We found that these two presidential contenders have had a rocky past, one of which ran with the other in mind. The other accusation was that you ran purely to make sure Fabian didn't win. Is there any credence to that?
I mean, Fabian, he would have put out a lot of great things as president, but they all would have been for the benefit of Fabian, not for students.
In order to understand the possibility of having a list of NCIDs, which had been believed as the tool used to rig the election, we asked the question of ownership of such a list. Have you ever, at any point prior to this semester or during the semester, ever had a list of NCIDs?
Not prior to the spring semester or any semester.
You said prior to spring semester. During spring semester, did you have the ability or did you ever have a list of NCIDs?
Not during the spring semester, no.
We asked both candidates to posit, if not them, who they thought was responsible.
I think I know, but I'm also inherently biased towards Fabian. So you have, colored glasses, you blinders on. So maybe I'm skewed and biased towards the fact that I just have seen him do a lot of shady things. But I also don't want to think he's like a bad person.
What is your response, what are your emotions to that?
I mean, I think that, take it or leave it, it's student government. There will be, every election has some sort of situation that happens like that.
We ended with the question of if we will ever know.
With given time, we'll find out, and we'll see if any repercussions happen from that, but I'm not necessarily looking at that because it's not my place to say, It's, I will go through the rest of my day, follow my classes, plan for my finals, and the rest will just go on.
Do you think that whoever did this was within student government?
Oh, yeah. No one cares enough about student government besides student government.
But if that wasn't enough, we close with a bombshell that came out of this investigation, and the answer from the former Senate president might shock you. Do you think the homecoming election is an issue?
I think if you look at the numbers, you will see the exact same thing happened with certain teams. Someone definitely cheated in the homecoming election.
We may never know who was responsible, but only those responsible for the investigation have that obligation. Otherwise, the votes that matter to an election for a position that oversees $1.3 million will always be questioned till an investigation occurs. James Schaefer, Studio G.
Rallies across the nation took place Saturday to show support for the fight against climate change. Studio G reporter Ashley Renan has the story.
President Trump's review of national monuments has sparked many rallies across the nation. Today, Las Vegas hosts one here at the Donald Moyer Amphitheater outside of the Student Union. We resist, we build, we rise. That was a message that several hundred protesters shouted as they made their way around the UNLV campus Saturday morning. All this in an effort to spread awareness about the ongoing battle surrounding climate change. Among those in attendance at the Las Vegas People's Climate March were Congresswoman Dina Titus, Councilman Bob Coffin, and Las Vegas Paiute Tribe member Fawn Douglas.
Under threat and put in the butte here that we worked so hard to protect.
It is an eloquent demonstration of what can be done with the voice and the foot power of the people.
This week, Trump just signed an executive order to review national monuments that were enacted since 1996.
Also in attendance were several local activist groups, including the Sierra Club, who had this to say about President Trump's first 100 days in office.
Today is the People's Climate March. It marks the 100th day of this new administration and, unfortunately, the 100th day of the assault on the environment and Mother Nature. There's strength in numbers. So we want ultimately people to come out and show their resistance to these bad policies that affect our clean air, our clean water, our public lands, and literally the assault and affront it is to our human rights that this new administration has been issuing executive orders on.
It'll be interesting to see where Trump's administration will take us in the next 100 days of office. But for now, we know where this Las Vegas community stands. Reporting one final time for Studio G, I'm Ashley Renan.
UNLV Sustainability Council was also in attendance along with the performers from the Las Vegas Paiute tribe.
Now let's take a look at what's going on in the rest of the world. Nicole, what do you have for us today?
Thanks, James and Alyssa. I'm Nicole Soto, and I have your world news headlines for today. North Korea is claiming that the U.S. is plotting to kill Kim Jong-un. The reserve nation is accusing America and South Korea of attempting to assassinate the country's leader with a biochemical substance. In a report released Friday, North Korean state news agency KCNA said a hideous terrorist group conspired with the CIA and South Korea's intelligence service to mount the attack. The report states that the aim was to, quote, commit bomb terrorism, targeting the supreme leadership during major events, including a recent military parade. Speaking of terrorist threats, police arrested a man at London's Heathrow Airport on terrorism-related charges. Authorities reported a 30-year-old man was arrested as he stepped off a plane from Istanbul. The man was suspected for preparing terrorist acts, and training a resident in East London is being searched in connection to his arrest. That's all I have for your world news headlines. Now we'll go to Taimi for the weather.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm Taimi Soto, and I have your weather for today, the last one for this semester. Thank you so much. Let's start with the weather. Right now, the temperature 90 degrees, the highest 100, and the lowest 73. For the rest of the week, we're going to have great weather. Chances of showers on Monday and Tuesday, but mostly sunny for the rest of the week. 88 tomorrow, and the lowest on Sunday, 71. For the rest of the valley, we have here great weather as well. In the 90s, the highest Henderson with 97 degrees. The lowest right now, it's actually here in Summerlin. So, but it's going to be very beautiful. UNLV 93 degrees, wind speed 10 miles per hour. Now the humidity is 9% tonight. The wind speed is going to be between 8 to 80 miles per hour, but it's going to be beautiful, 75 degrees, so very beautiful. And that's it for you guys. Thank you so much. Let's go back to the reporters.
All right, guys, how are you doing today? I'm Lee Guilford.
And I'm Malika Powell. We are so excited today. We are going to make some cocktails and mocktails that are going to get you through the summer. So the first drink that we're going to make is a skinny margarita. It's Cinco de Mayo and summer's coming up, so no reason to completely squash your diet and exercise routine. We got you covered. So we're going to start with 4 ounces of silver tequila.
So what made you decide to do a skinny margarita, Malika?
Well, you know, there's no reason to give up on fun when you want to have a good time and then you want to keep your diet going. So, and when I say skinny, I don't mean that I'm using any unnatural ingredients. Basically what I'm doing is replacing them with natural ingredients. So natural sugars and lots of fruit going into it. So we got 4 ounces of tequila, and then we're going to do 3 limes juiced. Now it's important to juice your own limes. Don't buy that additive stuff because you don't know exactly what's going in it.
All right, so Malika, now as we're juicing these limes up, what are we exactly trying to get out of a margarita? What flavors are we looking for? What's the origins of it? Why do you like it?
Well, I love a margarita just because it's so summery. The lime is perfectly complemented by the tequila. And the next ingredient we're doing is actually going to be orange juice, which is another prominent flavor in margaritas. It's orange, but usually that's made with triple sec or orange liqueur. So we're getting rid of that because we don't know exactly what's in it.
I see what's going on. So instead of having, say, the sweet and sour mix, we're doing straight lime and fresh sugar.
Yes.
Instead of having the triple sec, we're just using whole oranges. We replaced everything that tends to be processed, ooh, there you go.
Sorry, making a mess over
We
here.
replaced everything that tends to be processed then with fresh and natural ingredients.
Yes, exactly.
So as far as calories go, do we know how we're looking or what we're saving as far as calories?
For calories, I think this might be under the 100 mark.
There we go. Now I'm winning. I'm excited for this just because obviously we can tell I'm counting calories. I'm counting them as they go down my throat.
But I mean, again, the main thing that we're worried about isn't necessarily calories, it's just where the ingredients are coming from.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
so what other
done
types
here.
of drinks or what things can people do then in order to really harp on this natural or naturalistic style of drinking?
I think mainly, like, never buy anything diet. Like, don't buy diet sodas or lemonades or anything like that. We just want to keep it natural. So, and again, keeping it natural, don't buy that simple syrup that you're getting at the store. Go natural. So we're going to use agave nectar and we're going to keep it in line with the lime juice.
And for those who don't know, what is agave nectar?
It's from the same plant as tequila, actually.
Okay.
Actually, you want to get started on your drink as well?
Absolutely, as soon as you get done with my shaker right here. In the meantime, I'm going to pull up some glasses for my drink.
Yeah,
I'm making a mint julep. My drink is brought up and themed based on the Kentucky Derby coming up this weekend. So on Sunday at the Derby, they serve over 12,000 mint juleps. They have a pre-made mix. One thing I learned when I went to bartending college is you have to take your thumb on your mint leaf, just give it a little hit, break it up. So we're going to add some mint over here to these as Malika's pouring these margaritas that smell fabulous. I'm going to add some ice over here in this as well. This will be for later as I'm waiting for Malika. What we're really doing, the mint julep, is a bourbon-based drink. So we've got some Kentucky bourbon. We're actually going to add 2 ounces of Kentucky bourbon to this mix. We went with a brand of bourbon that comes out of Kentucky. We wanted to try to keep as authentic as we can. But at the same time, we're going to give it a little bit of a Southwest twist as well. So as Malika is wrapping up here with her garnishes, I'll continue making this drink. We've got 2 ounces of bourbon that I'm actually not going to weigh out because we're having fun and it's the last day. Similar to her drink, I'm going to use agave as well. And in this, I actually am going to weigh it out because we're looking for 1 solid ounce of agave syrup just to sweeten this drink up a little bit. We're going to go ahead, come in here with some mint as well. Got a couple of mint leaves in there. And we have tonic water. Tonic water is going to balance this all out, take the edge off the drink a little bit, let it go down smooth. So I've got 2.5 ounces of tonic water right there. Actually, I have a little bit more. We're going to knock it down because I got college kids drinking here. And we'll give it the shake. They say never more than 4 shakes. Oops, and I got it all over myself. Learning to use this new shaker, but we're going to bring that in here. We've got
looks beautiful, wonderful color. And the Kentucky Derby is coming up, right?
Yes, it is. And in honor of the Kentucky Derby, we're going to get us some nice white brim hats. We're going to garnish this with a little bit of mint. Rub it around the edge of the glass, just like that. And that, folks, is a mint julep.
All right, perfect. So we got 2 drinks. We got the margarita and the mint julep. Fortunately, that's all the time that we have, but thank you so much for joining us today. And now we're going to toss it to the desk for entertainment news.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Lee and Malika. Las Vegas, once notorious for its connections to the criminal underworld, now has a unique place to showcase the people and events surrounding its dark history. I got a chance to check out the Vegas Mob Museum. Check it out. Visitors can view the methods law enforcement used to combat organized crime, such as wiretapping, bugs, and surveillance.
It's a very interactive and immersive museum. We have more than 2,000 artifacts. I talked about the massacre wall, but we also have massacre evidence. We have law enforcement. We tell equally well the story of law enforcement here. We tell how they fought against it.
The museum provides simulated combat for guests who want to test their abilities and judgment on a virtual training course. Guests will come across the wall of infamy that prominently displays individuals related to gangland activities perpetrated across the country. Another feature of the Mob Museum is the lineup, which gives everyone a chance to experience being a suspect for a souvenir picture.
We have theater presentations here. You're going to be immersed in things like the 40s and 50s era in Las Vegas, and where you're going to feel that whole experience, the casino, actually what happened, how the skim worked, how money laundering worked. You're going to learn some of the worst of the mobsters.
The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, arguably the most infamous act in organized crime history, is displayed with actual bricks from the wall where 7 members of Al Capone's rivals were lined up and murdered.
The Mob Museum is a one-of-a-kind that offers a tantalizing tale of the criminal activity that occurred in Las Vegas and across the country.
After several years of taking second and third place, the UNLV Jazz Ensemble won, tied for first place at this year's Generation Jazz Festival. This gives the group an invitation to the world-renowned Monterey Jazz Festival in September, where they will perform in front of many influential musicians. Graduate assistant Michael Spicer, who plays the saxophone, was initiated into the program in August 2016 and is excited to attend the festival for the first time.
It's like you read about this festival in like textbooks and, stuff like that. So it's world renowned. So it's an honor. Very excited, very excited. More excited than nervous.
The Jazz Ensemble will continue to perform on campus at the start of the fall semester and will release a CD with the music that helped them win first place.
Back tucks, flips, and tricks require strength and fitness. Studio G reporter Kayleen Talents took a look at a gym that offers gymnastics and much more.
L'Oracle is not your ordinary gym. It offers circus training, fitness training, as well as gymnastics.
This gym started off, it's about 3 years old, and the manager and the owner started it to be like a hub, a training hub for Cirque du Soleil performers and circus performers of other venues. It's a place where people can come and either do open gym or classes, depending on what their skill set is or what their desires are as far as being a part of the circus industry. We also have formal gymnastics classes for the Competitive Gymnastics Association.
L'Oracle has different styles to offer. It's considered a unique gym because they have all the styles that anyone can train under.
So you can sign up for like gymnastics classes and tumbling classes, aerial classes, all of those. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to kind of do like solo training, we have the facility for you to do it in, or if you're looking for instruction, we have the coaches to teach you.
Some dancers a part of the Cirque shows use this gym to train. And also, fun fact, Cirque auditions were actually held at L'Oracle.
With Cirque auditions here at the gym, we kind of like shut down classes and open gym, and no one's really allowed to come in or out, and the whole Cirque casting team comes in, and people come in and like they have their booth signed up, they sign in, they get a number, then they go out into the space and they perform the fitness test required of Cirque du Soleil or whatever industry is auditioning here at the facility.
This gym consists of many exciting, unique, and different styles. For Studio G, I'm Kayleen Talents.
For more information, visit their website at loraclelasvegas.com.
This week, Baltimore Orioles star Adam Jones experienced racism during the team's road game versus the Boston Red Sox. Yuri Andreyshuk has the story.
On May 1st, Baltimore Orioles star Adam Jones was berated by racial slurs and was thrown peanuts at by a bigoted fan at Fenway Park in Boston. This was during the Orioles' road game versus the Red Sox.
I don't care. Boo me. I mean, treat me as it's Orioles Red Sox. I don't want any special treatment. I don't need any special treatment. Treat me as normal. Just keep the racist stuff out of there. Boo me. Tell me I suck.
The Red Sox organization and Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker apologized for the incident following that game. In the Orioles' second game versus the Red Sox, the crowd at Fenway all gave Jones an applause at his first at-bat to apologize for the treatment of him in the previous game. I spoke with KUNV's Dave Norris on how this incident affects Boston's reputation as a sports town, along with how this affects African Americans coming out to major league ballparks.
It's hard to believe in 2017 that we're still dealing with instances of overt racism. We've got Major League Baseball players who are looked up to all across, not just the country, but the world. And here we have people in Boston, of all places, Boston, Massachusetts, throwing out the N-word. It's unbelievable. I heard that between 30 and 40 people were ejected from the game for doing that and for throwing, what was it, peanuts on the ground. I just think it's unbelievable that at this day and age, things like that are still happening. Do I think it's going to cause people to not go to a baseball game tomorrow necessarily? Maybe in Boston, yes. I don't necessarily think in other ballparks across the country. But what I think this reminds all of us is right now, racism is still an issue, and it's a prevalent thing in the front of many people's minds. And for people to just outright deny that or try to brush it under the rug, may be ignoring a rather large issue.
The question is, have Red Sox fans redeemed themselves? Many African-American players have said that this type of behavior is expected by Boston sports fans. There are currently a mere 62 African-American players in Major League Baseball. For Studio G, I'm Urian Dryshuk.
Hopefully this incident will be able to unite baseball fans and players as one.
As I'm sure you're all made aware by now, this is our last show of the semester for Studio G. Senior reporter Alyssa Truesdale caught up with some fellow students to discuss their time here at UNLV.
The time has come. For some, it was a brief 3 or 4 years, and for others, it took 8 years to get those 120 credits. But now, we can all cue that fade to black as our time as undergraduates has come to an end. I spoke with a few seniors to see what their life was like at UNLV and what their greatest takeaway will be.
Well, as you know, I am graduating this semester, and it's been a really wonderful experience. I've been here since 2014, and I think the thing that I would take away from UNLV is just all the people that I've met here. I think all the friends that I have acquired over the years have really helped, just push through all the projects that I've had, all the late nighters that we've had here in the newsroom. I think that's the best experience for me is all the people and all the friends that I've made here.
Takeaway from UNLV, that's a hard one. I wouldn't be doing what I do every day if it wasn't for UNLV, because UNLV got me my job I have now, because it started as an internship and then now it's a job. UNLV has given me so many opportunities besides that, just to meet people I would have never met before, to work at events and to work at different, just really cool, just be a part of something that I would never have been able to be a part of. I would have never been able to do that without UNLV, and I would have never been able to grow the way I have as a student, as a journalist, as a person, if it wasn't for UNLV.
UNLV, I've actually learned everything that I know about video editing and being on camera, doing broadcasts, all of that. I started maybe my second semester at UNLV, so everything that I'm hoping to do in the future with my life, I've learned here, and I've mostly learned everything. I've actually learned everything I know about editing from Steve, who's I would say he's my mentor now, which is cool. So he's taught me everything that I know.
Signing off for the very last time for Studio G, I'm Alyssa Truesdale.
Go, be journalists.
Another chapter in the books for the students and seniors here at Studio G. To see these graduates turn their tassels, join us at the Thomas and Mack next Saturday, May 13th at 9 a.m. for graduation.
That's all for our final show, but before we go, we want to say thank you to all of UNLV-TV for their help throughout the semester. We would not be able to do everything we do without them.
We also wish one of the team members luck. Steve Bixby will be leaving us at the end of the term. Our best wishes go out to him.
And a final thank you will be made to our amazing instructor, Dr. Gary Larson. All of us seniors will especially miss you and thank you for all that you have done for us. So thank you, Doc.
Studio G will return in the fall semester, but until then, for all of you newsies, as Dr. Larson would say, go be journalists.